Hey everyone, it's your professional sarcastic man and seeker of attention, Chris, here with a review of Superman number 3. Slightly better improvement on the second issue. So, premise of this issue is that Superman finds out how they've gone into the Phantom Zone. And meanwhile, Rogol Zaar meets the rest of the Phantom Zone's inhabitants. It's that simple, everyone. That's how simple the plot of this issue is. And unlike the previous issue, it actually has something to do with the overall story arc. But it only happens in like the first quarter of this issue. And also, this whole Superman versus the unstoppable Rogol Zaar, this cover, it doesn't happen. It leads up to a fight in the last page, but this here, them fighting, nothing happens at all. So, I'm going to say, as always, the main thing that's always been a hit with Bendis' Superman is not Bendis' writing, but the art. Ivan Reyes, his art, as usual, is amazing. I love his art. It's the best part of Superman so far has been the art. The story, on the other hand, this is a bit mixed. Like I said, while it is a very slight improvement on the second issue, which so far is Bendis' worst issue, because it had nothing to do with the story, it was filler at the second issue. You had filler already. You could completely remove the second issue and it would not affect the story. Like, it was that pointless of an issue. This one, it's slightly... It's slightly plot. I'm confused here. It actually explains how the Earth gets stuck in the Phantom Zone, but much like that whole fire situation going on in Action Comics, the reveal and the conclusion of how that happened is very underwhelming. It's just like, oh, okay, that's it. Honestly, that's it. I'm not going to say who did it, but it was an accident. That's literally how it happened. How Earth ended up in the Phantom Zone is that it was pretty much an accident. That was all that it was. It's very, like I said, like the whole who started the fire thing plot line going on in Action Comics, it's very underwhelming. It's like, okay, that's it. So half of your plot is already done. The main crux of your plot is done already. This is the third issue. I'd expect it for the third issue too. You have the first to start, second to build up, third to reach midway to a conclusion, fourth to build up to the conclusion, fifth issue is the conclusion. But while for this it follows that structure, it's underwhelming and as usual, the Bendis speak is very, very heavy in this issue. As you know, it's just constantly, since Livewire makes an appearance, Livewire arrives at to get more power for herself. That's what I'll say, and they just say, "Did she do this? Maybe she did this. You did this. This wasn't you. Oh man, something went wrong. Something went horribly wrong." And it's, what did you do? Livewire, what did you do? It's like it's just pointless dialogue. You're repeating the same thing over and over again. It's slightly similar to the definition of insanity. You know, one of those definitions for insanity. You know, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. It's like, and this one is just you're saying the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. It's just, I don't know. you get a little bit of a more about like Rogal Zar, but the thing is, from what we've seen of Rogal Zar, he doesn't seem like a team player, and in this one he recruits. He tries to recruit the other inhabitants of the Phantom Zone to help him. Since Earth is there and since Superman is there, they're going to attack. Well, I will say, this, I'll try and put it out there. This 2-page spread of Rogal Zar, like, attacking all of the prisoners in the Phantom Zone is an amazing page. You know, it is a awesome page. That's what I would definitely give it. It is an awesome page. 100%. But this was a pretty meh issue. Just randomly, Adam Strange appears just out of nowhere. Does he have anything to do with the plot? Probably not. But I don't know. Like I said, while it was a slight improvement on the previous issue, which is the worst issue so far, probably the worst issue of Bendis's run, it's still mixed. It's neither good or bad. It's just pretty meh, to be honest. And I don't know, dude. It's starting to become a chore to read Bendis. Like I always say, I have my rule. You have your first story to sell it to me. If I don't like what I see, or whatever, I won't continue with the title. No, unless you're as bad as X-Men Red, then I'll just drop you initially. But it just seems like to be a chore for me to read Superman in Action Comics. Action Comics is just not interesting at all to me. I just might as well just drop that. I don't care. The whole plot is just like, oh look, Lois is back. It's not interesting. I don't care. And this one, like, I don't even want to really bother with just like, how is Superboy and Lois gonna come back and all that. It's just, I feel like I'm just gonna drop this. There's really nothing to see. It doesn't interest me anymore. It's a chore to read Superman, which it shouldn't be. You know, with Rebirth, with Tomasi and Jurgensen's runs on Superman and Action Comics, it wasn't a chore. Those were titles I was eagerly awaiting to read. Every week, Superman Action Comics. I was very eager to read them because they were amazing. They were great. I always wanted more. Wanted to read more. With Superman, and especially since it's now gone to a monthly basis now, it just feels like a chore, and it's like, I don't know what's the point anymore. So story-wise for this issue, 6. I'll do it out of 5, not out of 10. 2.5, 3 out of 10. Art, 5. Well, I said out of 10. I wanted to do 5. Okay. 2.5 to 3 out of 5 for the story. Art-wise, definitely a 4 or 5. Especially, you know, the art as usual, and that 2-page spread of Rogal Zar attacking the... I don't really care about Rogal Zar, but I gotta say, this is a freaking awesome page. It is, definitely. The art has been a consistent top factor and quality of Superman so far. But that's it for this video. If you liked it, please leave a like. If you haven't already, subscribe and hit the notification bell. Or if you found you've somehow neither of them after doing it already, you know, hit them again. Leave a comment. What are your thoughts on Superman if you are reading it? I know some people are, some people aren't. I know somebody said thank you for reading Superman, so I don't have to. I'm like, you know, I understand how you feel now, but check out my previous videos if any of them tickle your fancy, and follow me on Twitter if you want. I really don't do much on Twitter. It's just videos, and I sometimes talk about comics and maybe memes if that's your thing. But that's it for the video. I'll see all of you next time.